In 1962, Trinidad and Tobago became an independent nation after the first battle that the country faced, which was a large group within the East Indian community that did not want independence because they couldn't bear the thought of a person of African descent over them. They were okay with the British being over, but not anyone from the African community governing them. We eventually became successful after a hard-fought battle at Marbury House in England. We eventually became an independent nation. Not too long after that, our country faced an embarrassing moment, especially the PNM party. What happened is that there was two persons that the UNC tend to use as their standard when it comes to corruption. Privat and O'Halloran. One of the things the UNC fail to recognize is that Privat is not of African descent. Neither is O'Halloran. So the question is it that, are they saying that it doesn't matter what party a person of East Indian descent is in, they are going to be corrupt, they are going to steal from the state? Because I know for a fact that is not the truth. But since they always run to Privat and O'Halloran, someone needs to point out to them that is not a great example. Probably they need to see something else, because neither Privat nor O'Halloran is of African descent. And most times when they say PNM, they really say black people, persons of African descent. So they need to get their story straight where that is concerned, because it's not the greatest example for them. The next issue is that they always tend to complain or use as a weapon is that PNM never do anything for black people. Well, as far as I know, all those buildings on Duncan Street, Nelson Street, and most of those even in Picton and different parts of East Port of Spain, most of those buildings were built by the PNM for mainly persons of African descent in the Port of Spain area. So if the PNM does nothing for black people, who did they build that for? Did they build that for Syrians? Did they build that for East Indians? Did they build that for Chinese? There are so many examples in our society in which the PNM did that the UNC will never admit. One of the things also is the GATE program, where today we can witness many, many lawyers of African descent, as well as doctors and engineers, because of a man called Patrick Manning and the policy under his governance. The African community betrayed Patrick Manning for Kamala Persad-Bissessar. But such is life. But there are too many examples of the PNM party bending backwards to assist the African community, only for the African community to betray itself and the party that has done everything in its power to support them on being successful citizens, businessmen and women, as well as doctors, lawyers, engineers, and all other professional groups that makes a society successful. There are too many examples that we can give in this society to prove that the PNM has always been for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago.